Today, I'm taking you behind the scenes of a 2x profit audit for an auto repair shop. We're going to look at the numbers first and then figure out our most important question. Is this business demand constrained or supply constrained? Or in other words, do they need more customers or would more customers break the business? So after going through the business owner's answers for their 2x profit audit, I see that we have a huge gap. Last quarter was $60,000 in revenue and his next quarter goal is $200,000 in revenue. That's more than a 3x revenue target in one quarter. The owner is keeping about $3,000 a month in net profit. Since the business is not currently set up for the owner to be making enough profit, 3xing the revenue is not going to automatically fix his profit issue. It's going to make more chaos and more problems. So the question is not how do we get more customers or cars in the shop? The question is how do we make the economics of the shop work better? Because more revenue does not matter if it's not bringing you more profit. So the first thing I do when I am auditing a business is I look through their submission response that the business owner gave us when he was asking for this 2x profit audit. So I've pulled that information over into this document here that I'm going to share with you. I've taken out our client's name and his business name as well to help him be private with his information. But let's go through this so I can show you my process. The first thing, so his business type is an automotive repair service. They specialize in European and Japanese imports, and then they recently started marketing to domestic vehicles as well. So their primary offer, they offer automotive repair services. Their pricing is about $145 to $175 per hour for their labor rate based on book times, how busy they are and what time. They also do a markup on their parts. It's about 30% to 70% depending on the part amount. The business owner also shared with us that the average revenue per customer is roughly around $1,800 per customer. And then their customer volume is about 15 to 20 customers per month. So right now, their current monthly leads are also around 20 leads per month. And the close rate on those leads are around 25 to 30%. Their current net profit is about $3,000 per month, which honestly right there has me worried for this business owner because that just sounds like a job to me. However, you are a business owner and you put so much work and energy and risk into your own business. You should be making more money for how much work and energy you're putting in your business. And so we want to help this business owner bring in more profit for his business so that it can be more sustainable for him, his family, and for his team as well. And so we definitely want to help get that $3,000 a month in profit up. So his revenue currently quarter one was $60,000, and his goal for this next quarter is $200,000. So that's quite a big jump as far as that goes. And there's a few different things that has to happen in order for him to be able to do that. Next, what I do in this 2x profit audit is I am going to look at some quick math from the numbers that the owner gave me in his submission. So here's the quick math that the owner gave me. So they have about 15 to 20 customers per month, and the average customer is about $1,800. So right here we have 15 customers multiplied by 1,800 is about $27,000 a month. 20 customers multiplied by 1,800 a month is about $36,000 a month. Our current estimated quarterly revenue range, $27,000 per month times 3 is $81,000 per quarter. $36,000 a month, so on the higher end of that revenue is about $108 per quarter. So this business owner, his revenue goal is $200,000 per quarter. So in order for that to happen, the customer volume needed to hit $200,000 a quarter is 111 customers per quarter. Divide that by 3 and that's 37 customers per month. Right now, current customer volume, 18 to 20 customers per month. And so the gap, we need roughly 17 to 22 more customers per month at the current average revenue range per customer. At the current average revenue per customer, they need about 111 customers in a quarter or roughly 37 customers per month to hit $200,000 in revenue per quarter. Right now, they're seeing about 15 to 20 customers per month. So if nothing changes about the average customer value, they need nearly double the customer volume. But the owner already told us that doubling the customer volume would be tight. That means that the answer cannot simply be to buy more leads. We either need more throughput, higher customer value, more repeat revenue, or all three. This is the first biggest fork in the road. Is this business demand constrained or supply constrained? Demand constrained means the business needs more clients or more qualified opportunities. Supply constrained means the business probably cannot fulfill more work. So this auto repair shop looks like a little bit of a hybrid of both. They only get about 20 leads per month at a 25 to 30% close rate. That means they get roughly 5 to 6 new customers a month from new leads. They also get referrals and returning customers. Their capacity is around 20 customers per month. They can take on more leads immediately. Doubling customer volume would be tight. And the first things to break are technician capacity, workflow, and parts speed. So they do need more demand, but they need the right kind of demand. We have to be careful because if we bring in low quality, low margin, hard to serve customers, we don't fix the business. We just make the problems louder. So the goal we have now is fewer random swings and more profitable, predictable work. The next thing I do when I audit a business is I Google them like a customer would. Before someone trusts a mechanic with their car, especially an important car, they need confidence. For auto repair, trust is the sale before the actual sale. So let's go ahead and Google this customer. So the first thing I see here is that they are listed as the number one on when I Google their name, which is great. This is not a paid ad I see. It's just an organic search result. Then what I'm going to do is I am going to take a look at their reviews. They have 45 Google reviews and a 4.9 star rating, which is great. The next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to look for review language. So words like honest, fair, fast, imports, different things that are going to be repeated through the reviews. Those words should probably show up on the website because the customer is handing us the copy of the things that they value or don't value. And it's some good feedback for the business to have. The next thing I do after doing a deep dive on their Google reviews is I go to the business's homepage and I take a look at it. And I'm not looking at it from the perspective of a professional designer, but rather I'm looking at it from the perspective of a client. And so there are a few different things that the client is wondering in their mind as they're looking at your website. So a few things that customers are looking for when they're looking at your website. Is it clear what your business does or offers? Is it clear what you specialize in? Is there a strong headline? Is there a reason to trust the business? And I really want to be able to see that on the first page I look at on their website. Before I'm scrolling, before I'm clicking things, is there a clear CTA or call to action? Do the images match what the customer wants? And so with this website, something that I'm seeing off the top is that the photo that they have on their main website is a Mazda. Now, this business owner mentioned that they specialize in European cars. I personally used to own a Mazda. I never even knew it was a European car. And when I needed to fix it, I just looked up a mechanic and I took it to a mechanic. I never looked for somebody who specializes in a Mazda car. So something that I would love to chat with the business owner about is, who is their ideal customer? Is it a Mazda owner? Is that who they're wanting to look for them and find them? Or is it somebody else? Whoever their ideal customer is, they should be branding everything on their website to reflect who that customer is. So right now, I would say they may not, based off of this photo, be attracting the right clients that they are hoping to attract. Is there a video? Is there a testimonial? Can we see testimonials somewhere on the website? So I'm going to look through this website and go through the different pages and see what they have. Do they have a warranty? Do they have a guarantee? And is the page built to convert phone calls or appointment requests? So a number of things that we look at when we're doing this audit. In short, the homepage needs to pass the 5-second test. What do you do? Who is it for? Why should I trust you? And what do I do next? One of the first things I'm checking is whether the visuals match the customer that the business wants. If the business wants premium import customers, the page has to look and feel like a premium import specialist. And so when I look at this homepage at the photo of the Mazda, my initial thought is that perhaps these visuals do not match the customer that the business is hoping to attract. And I will say I have nothing against Mazdas. I used to have a blue one. It was one of my favorite cars. However, generic visuals create generic positioning, and generic positioning creates price shoppers. So if the business owner wants to sell higher value work, they need to have higher trust visuals on their website. So this website should make the customer feel like their car is in expert hands. The next thing I look for on their website is for proof. No claims, but proof from customers. And so if the proof is only on Google, but not on the website, we are making the customer work too hard. You want to be able to give them proof that customers are happy and that your team is amazing to work with right there on the website. And as I'm looking through the website, I see a lot of words, lots and lots of words. I see their hours. I see frequently asked questions. However, I do not see anywhere on their website where they have proof or reviews. So that's one of the great things that they can do on their website to show their customer that they can trust them. Another thing I noticed as I was doing the website audit is that on their services page, you scroll down quite a ways and you can find that they have a warranty. A warranty or a guarantee is a really great way to help your customers feel better about working with you. And so it's really great that this auto mechanic has a warranty. However, it's very hard for people to find this. And so this is something that can be moved over to a place that is more visible on the website, so that when people are looking through and deciding which mechanic to go with, they can see that there is something, a little bit of some safety with working with this mechanic shop. So if the customer is nervous about booking, a warranty can lower the perceived risk of booking with this mechanic shop. So something that you can do is you can put that warranty near the top of the page on the website. You can repeat it near the CTA or the call to action. And then you can also explain it in very plain English. You can use it in a few different places on your website, but it's very helpful when you can make it a visual that's easy to see and easy to understand. The next thing I do after I've done a deep dive on their website is I move on to the business's offer. Right now, the basic offer is auto repair. Your car has a problem, we fix it. The offer is necessary, but it keeps the business dependent on the next car breakdown. So the first thing I look at when I'm looking at their offer is what happens after the first repair or the first time a customer works with you. Does the client have a reason to come back and return and work with you again? Is there a maintenance plan? Is there a diagnostic offer? Is there a seasonal inspection? And perhaps one of the biggest questions is there recurring revenue? If the only time customers come back is when something breaks, revenue will always be hard to predict. The first repair should not be the end of the relationship. It should be the moment they earn the customer's trust and then give them a reason to keep coming back. As I'm going through this audit, the biggest profit lever I see is turning one-time repair customers into recurring maintenance customers. So the first repair gets the customer and the maintenance plan keeps the customer. It gives customers a reason to return and helps the owner forecast hiring. It also makes technician capacity easier to plan and reduces dependence on one-time repair events. This is where a lot of service businesses miss profit. They spend money to acquire the customer, they do the transaction, and then they let the customer disappear. Keeping a good customer is almost always cheaper than replacing them. The business owner of this auto repair shop said that Q1 is historically the slowest quarter. That matters because slow quarters create cash pressure. But a maintenance plan like this gives the business a base layer of predictable revenue instead of starting every month from zero. So if the owner wants to hire another technician, predictable revenue makes that decision less risky. And as a business owner, you don't want to hire based on hope. You want to hire based on a predictable, reliable model. So the maintenance plan is not just a revenue idea, it's a capacity planning tool. The next thing I'm checking is how they're creating demand with paid ads. Google is probably the priority here because auto repair has high intent. If someone searches BMW repair near me or European auto repair, they likely need help now. So the question is, are their ads showing up? And are they positioned as a generic mechanic shop or as an import specialist? That distinction matters because generic mechanics compete on price, while specialists compete on trust. Meta is probably secondary. I'd use it for retargeting ads and staying top of mind, but not as the main source for urgent auto repair. The goal of paid ads is not to get more clicks, but to get more profitable booked jobs. So as I'm looking up Google ads for this company, I have found that they actually do not have any ads running currently. I've looked at their past ads, and their past ads are very generic. It talks about being an auto mechanic repair shop. Other than that, it doesn't really give a lot of information as far as being a European import specialist for car repair. The next thing I do in my audit is I'm going to look at the business's competitors. And I'm not looking at competitors so we can copy them, but I'm looking for where the gaps are. In a market like auto repair, most shops say the same things. Honest service, reliable repairs, fair pricing, experienced technicians. And those are good things, but they are not unique. So if they specialize in European and Japanese imports, a possible position that they could use is something like European and Japanese import repair without dealership headaches. That gives the customer a clear reason to choose them instead of being a generic shop. Now that we've looked at the numbers, the website, offer, ads, and competitors, I see three main findings. My first finding is that this mechanic shop needs better economics, not just more volume. The owner said he wants to go from $60,000 in revenue last quarter to $200,000 next quarter. At their current average revenue per customer, that means they need around 37 customers per month. Right now, they're seeing around 15 to 20. So yes, they need more demand, but they also said doubling customer volume would be tight. That means if we only focus on more cars in the shop, we may create a capacity problem instead of a profit solution. And so the better path is higher value customers, more repeat behavior, and better throughput. When someone owns a European or Japanese import car, they're not just looking for the cheapest mechanic. They want to know, can I trust this shop with my car? And so the website needs to answer that quickly. The website should make their specialty obvious, it should show proof and reviews, and it should make the warranty easy to see. And most importantly, it should make the next step easy and simple. The website should not just explain the service. It should reduce the customer's fear and help build trust so they want to work with this mechanic. Finding number 3, the biggest lever is customer lifetime value. Right now, the obvious transaction is the car breaks, the customer brings it in, the shop fixes it. That works, but it makes the business dependent on the next random repair. The missed opportunity is what happens after the first repair. If the customer trusts them once, don't make the customer rediscover the same shop the next time they need help. Give them a reason to keep coming back. That's where a maintenance plan comes in. The repair gets the customer, and then the maintenance plan keeps the customer. Based on the 2x profit audit, I would focus on 3 main moves. First, make the website feel like an import specialist, not a generic mechanic repair shop. Tighten the headline, improve photos and videos, include reviews, make the warranty obvious, and make booking simple. Before sending more traffic to the website, the page needs to be able to convert trust. Second, build a monthly or quarterly maintenance plan. Not a random one, but one that's thoughtfully built out and brings value to the customers. This will give customers a simple way to take better care of their vehicle, and it gives the business more predictable revenue. And that matters because predictable revenue helps the owner make more money consistently, plan ahead, and hire with more confidence. Third, once the website and offer are stronger, then we drive more demand. Paid Google ads may make sense because repair searches have high intent, but the order of how we do things matters. Fix the trust, clarify the offer, then send more traffic. Remember, the goal is not more clicks. The goal is more profitable booked jobs. The big takeaway from this audit is that this business does not just need more leads. They need to position themselves as specialists with a website that builds trust faster and build out a maintenance offer that creates predictable revenue. That reoccurring revenue is the biggest lever here. It helps the owner take home more profit, hire with more confidence, and scale with less guessing. And that's really the point of a 2x profit audit. We're not looking at 50 random ideas that the business owner can chase after, but we're looking at the few things that can change the math the most. If you run a service business doing $500,000 to $3 million per year, and you feel like there should be more profit left over, apply for your free 2x profit audit today. We'll do a deep dive on your pricing, offer, website, demand, and capacity, and show you the clearest path we see to more profit.